there, then I talk about here. Sometimes this may be the first station they come to, or they may have already been over here, because it kind of changes as to what I do here. But the main thing I do here is try to make them aware of how the Native Americans would have done it before the Europeans arrived. So guess what they don't have?
Metal.
Yeah, no iron. So they got to figure out how to do this without that. So they're going to have to just find what they have naturally to them. And so this time of the year they would be moving from their winter home into the sugar bush, because from the signs of spring that you've already heard about, and each clan or family had their own sugar bush that they came back and made the sap year after year after year, came back to the same area to do it. Okay. Now, what they're going to be doing, the other thing I express here is that they were going to go mostly to sugar, because again, I can't make syrup here. I do not know what a jar is. Okay. This is another time if they've already been over at that station already. See, what was the syrup in? A jar. Okay. Okay, that's fine, but once I open it, I now have to refrigerate it, or syrup's going to spoil for me. So I can't store it that way. So I'm going to have to make sugar, because with sugar, as long as I can keep sugar dry, it can last forever. But let me ask you this: how am I going to keep my sugar dry? I don't have any glass, aluminum, or plastic to store it in. What can I possibly keep my sugar dry? Anybody got an idea?
Hide.
Seems like, well, a hide, but yeah, but water could still soak through that eventually, right? What do I have that's going to be waterproof? Well, you think, well, wood's not going to work. What happens to wood when it gets wet? It gets soggy, doesn't it? Well, that doesn't seem like that's going to work, is it? I've got something here that's magic here. Look at this. What's this made out of? Birch bark. They found out that birch bark had something very special to them. Because what were they also world famous for making out of birch bark? Canoes! What don't you want to get in a canoe?
Water.
Water! So birch bark must be?
Waterproof.
So you see I can store my sugar? And the reason I'm going to have to store my sugar is, unlike today, I can't come back here in August or whatever and come in my sugar bush and make sugar. I have just this short time where I got the warm days and cold nights to make all the sugar that I need for the entire year. Once those trees start to bud out and the sap gets bitter, I move on to my summer home. So I'm going to take and store all my sugar in these baskets here, put a cover on it, carry it with me and with me to all my different homes that I go to. Okay? Now, the other problem I face is how to tap the tree. I do not have a nice little iron brit like we have today to tap that tree. So what do you think I'm going to have to do? You guys know what a tomahawk is? You guys know, most of the time the kids do know it. They'll say it's a small hatchet. But this one's going to be specifically made out of stone. And I'm just going to go through and make a big whack and so I finally get through the sap. And the sap begins to flow. And I'm going to stick this in that gash. And what's this called? Because the kids would have had this already. So again, it's the review for the kids. Spile. Okay, rhymes with smile. Hey, but you notice this is a little bit different than one you made. What do you notice is different about it? Longer! That's because I can't hang my container right on the spile. It's going to have to be at the base of the tree.
Okay,
I didn't bring out the big collecting container, but I'll have a container sitting here at the base of the tree. Then what I'm going to have to do with those containers, now I've got to figure out that I got to now take that sap and put it in something larger, because what do I have to do with that sap now?
Heat it up.
I got to boil it somehow, huh? Well, again, I ask you, how am I going to do that if I do not have glass, iron, aluminum to possibly do it? Well, here's where we don't know for sure how they would have done it. Number of different options. I usually start with the hauled out log, but that's frozen right now. I turn it over and there's a big trough there, and I have water in there. And eventually I'll get them to thinking, well, it's in here, but now how am I going to heat the water up? Some of them say put it on the fire. But why can't I do that? Good burn! So what am I going to do? And usually I get them to finally be thinking about, well, what do you see around the fire over there? Hot rocks. But then I ask them, well, how am I going to take a hot rock from over here to over there? My gloves are insulated enough for me to just pick the rock up and put it in there. All right? Oh. So I need some kind of a tool. I'll have like a little fork like this. And what I'll do is I'll grab a hot rock in here, you know, and then I'll take it over here and drop it in here, and then you'll usually see some steam come up. See? But then with that steam, I only have one rock in there. So I say, well, I'm only heating it up over here. I'm going to move my rock over here. But now I'm not heating it up over here, so what am I going to have to do? Put a whole bunch of rocks in here, right? If they've been over there, I tell them it's the same idea as a flat pan evaporator. Putting heat all the way across. Okay, but the reason I got this wooden spoon here is I got to stir those rocks up because there's going to be little spaces in there. But they're going to cool off, so then I take the rock off and put it back over there. So I says, well, this is why this is a family job, because you're going to need several people that's their job, just taking rocks out, somebody else stirring, some other people bringing in sap here all the time. Okay? Anybody got another idea of how they could have possibly boiled the sap down? I usually say this is a material that you find in art class if they can't think of it. What? Clay, you bet. Would clay be a possibility? Certainly. But think about it though. Is clay found everywhere though? No. So, that's what I'm saying. We just don't know the method. Basically, it came down to whatever the method they have. We've also heard that maybe animal hides were used. Because if you stick an animal hide above the fire enough, it'll heat up, but you won't burn through the hide either. So that was a possibility. Okay? Alright. So that's kind of what I get at. And then the other thing I get into is that they had another important use for this sugar, besides using it as sugar. Because this is a special kind of sugar. Because they soon found out something. That they would run into somebody from Alabama or Florida, and they didn't know what this was. And they thought, well, what? Why you guys don't know what maple syrup is? What's the deal? Why can't they make it down there? What?
They don't have the cold nights that does it around.
You bet. Get to think about the warm days and cold nights. Not to do with maple trees. They have maple trees. You don't have the warm days and cold nights. But you know what's also interesting? If I live in any other continent, guess what? Can't make it either. So it's only in the Midwest, the Northeast United States, and Northeast Canada, you can make this. You know what? I learned something though now. The next time I see that guy from Alabama, you know, I know what I can do with this because I know that he had something I'd like to have. What I do?
Indeed.
You bet. Okay. All right, thank you. So that's kind of the kind of things that I try to cover. You can see how I'm trying to get them to be thinking about things they've already had up on top to try and review that a little bit too.
And you said it was a family thing. It's not like just the women did it or just the men did it.
No, this was mostly the women and the smaller children would have been doing this. The men would have probably, the older men and that would have been out hunting. But it's still the whole family. It's still just a family thing. They don't bring another family in to help them out.
Okay.
Okay? Because you're going to find out that's the same situation over here when you go into that building too. Okay? So the kids say, well, how about, the other thing too, what they'll do, this is what the kids ask, well, how come they wouldn't steal stuff? Well, since they come back year after year, some of this equipment, it's the only time they use it, so they'll have a little shelter built and they'll store all their equipment so that's here when they come back. We said, how about other people coming in? Ever heard the word respect before? Okay. Yeah, sometimes I don't get into the storage thing just because of time, but the main thing I like to do is talk about the different methods and that this was a trade item and that they didn't, you know, this had to be done with no metals at all. I guess those are the key points that I try to get across.